Good evening, Rabbi Isai. Let's see where we're up to here. Yeah, I think we're up to Halacha Dalet on Hayam base. Is that correct? I think so. I think we did Halacha Gimel. So let us start with Halacha Dalet. If nobody has any objections. Okay. Zorak has Eben Chatzero. So he tossed the stone into his own yard. V'harag, and he killed. Im yesh reshus l'nizak l'kones l'sham. If the nizak has permission, the person who was killed had permission to be there, golek, then the ba'abais goes to golos. Being live and not eno golek, not he doesn't go golos shnemar. V'asher avo re'eu bayar, because we learn out from the puzzle. It says you come upon your friend in the forest. Ma'ayar reshus l'nizak l'mazik l'kones l'sham, just like a forest. There is permission for both the nizak and the mazik to enter there. Oh, I didn't share my screen. Sorry. Somebody should say something. Maybe somebody did say something. I missed the chat. Yes. Okay, I missed that. So sorry about that. So let me go back and do that again. So again, Zorak es heaven. You threw the stone into your chotzer, and you killed him. The person got killed had permission to be there. Then go let then the person the Baal Bayis goes to laugh, and if not, Elgo does go Shem Avsher Bos Reu Bayar. Somebody comes by his friend in the forest. Mayar Rishus Nizak Mazik Likosham. The forest is a place where everybody is allowed to be. The Nizak and the Mazik. So too, it has the Chotzer has to be one where the Nizak has a shoes to be. You also the Chotzer Baal Bayis and Rishus Nizak La Mazik Likonesham. The word La Mazik says on the side that whoever the Rasha is, I don't know who this is, maybe Marsha, takes that out. Because obviously the Mazik has Rishus in his own Chotzer. The Nizak's the one who needs a Rishus. Rishus, just like wood chopping, is an optional activity, not a mitzvah activity. So too, a person's only chayav goes if they're involved in optional activity, not in a mitzvah activity. So it excludes Yotzav and Makkos Beno, excludes a father who's hitting his child, a Rav Aruras Talmido, or a Rebbe who's hitting his student, a Shliach Basin, or a messenger from Basin who has been compelled to hit somebody in order to make him come to court. Rabbi Yana says Gemara. Rabbi Yana says Tabach Shumakatsev. You have a butcher who is butchering. He's chopping meat, bones. V'ika beilam mala beilam mata gola, and he hits whether on upwards or downwards, he goes to golas. What does it mean? V'asekai demar Rabbi Huna. It's Rav Huna. So Rav Huna said Tabach Shumakatsev. A butcher who is butchering. He's chopping up the meat. He's cutting the meat. Be called in front of, and he hit in front of him. Lematon. He hit downstroke with a downstroke in front of him. Gola. Lemalon ain't no gola. If you hit on the upswing, he doesn't go to golas. This will be derech yirida, not derech aliyah. What about it behind his back? If we started to get with the wind up behind his back, right? So lachorav, backward in back of him. Lemalon is he's going up, gola. Then he goes because that's aliyah shutzar chirida, right? It's going because they're going up in order to go down in front. Lematon, if he's going down and back, ain't no gola, doesn't go to golas because that's not. It's because that's considered to be yirida derech aliyah. Right? It's only going down or come back up again. So that's on the Bavli as well. Rabbi Yitzchak, kol mila mila l'daite. Every scenario has its own parameters. Let's see the name Moshe over here. Mila mila daite b'chol davar davar achar inyan hu olech. In every matter goes after that specific scenario. What the derech people is where he should have taking into account the potential dangers. And first says now it's going to go on and tell us and explain. So I don't think this is the Bavli. Yoshua Gabi Mita Bayom. You sat down on a bed during the day. Vein der linosein Gabi Mita Bayom. And a child is not normally on the bed during the day. So Gola. That's real shogeg. You're going to Golas. Palayla, you would sit in bed at night. V'derech chatina linos Gabi Reza. I'm not sorry. Yeah, and a child is normally, or it's frequently, in bed at night. Ain't don't go. It's not because you're less liable, because you're more liable. You're kind of amazing. You shouldn't have sat down on the bed at night. If he sat on, it's a arisa amount. He was like a crib, but it's like more like a playpen. So it's a playpen where a child is only going to be during the day, but not at night. Okay, so the Yosha Agabe Risa Bayom, or maybe it's a crib where you put the child during the day. But if you sat on top of this playpen during the day, that child is normally there during the day. Ain't a gola, you don't go to golas. But Laila, ain't there I'm saying don't go to golas. Sorry. Then he'll say, because you're a posher, because you should have expected there to be a child there, and you didn't check, and therefore you are liable. But Balayla, it's nighttime. The ain derech atino normally children at night, they're not in this playpen. Go there, then you're a real shogeg, and you're going to golas. So it's not onus. You should have checked, but it's not makarav amazing because you didn't expect it to be there. Person standing and cutting wood in his yard. And a worker's coming in to me owes wages. So a block of wood shoots out from underneath the woodworker's axe, and it damages the worker. You're chayav, because on nezek you're chayav no matter what. Adam is muad lolam in terms of nezek. Mace ain't no golem. If he dies, you don't go to golos. Why? She'eno by biyar. If we take a look here on the bottom, Gilin Ephraim, we change the gears slightly. Remains ain't a golos, she'eno kiyar. There's a technicality there, right? She'eno kiyar means that in order for the chayav golos, there has to be a scenario in which he had reshus to go. On nezek, Rabbi Yosef Rechina says you chayav anyway, because there's no exclusion, which says it has to be like a yar. By Misa and L'chaim, it's kiyar. Okay, which means that he had permission to be there. And even though he's coming for a legitimate reason, he's coming to collect his wages, which is owed to him, that's not enough of a permission to be there, and therefore the guy who kills him does not go into golos. It's more karav l'shogeg than to karav l'ones than to shogeg. Tani Rabbi, it should be Rabbi Chia. It says Baba Kama. I'm not sure it makes a difference to our purposes. It says Chanina, but there's Baba Kama saying Gemara says Potter. He says that you are Potter from nezek. You don't have to pay for the damages. So it seems that they argue, right? Rabbi Yisrael says you're chayav in the damages, and Rabbi Chia holds you're Potter from the damages. Says from the low plea. They don't really argue. But the Rabbi Yossi Chanina, that which Rabbi Yossi Chanina said, okay, is now here. I'm going to change the gears. So the gears I'm changing. If you take a look, it says inside the same Gemara appears in Baba Kama. Oops. See, it says Baba Kama. So we're going to change the base of the gears to Baba Kama. Okay? How do they not argue? Madamara is Bisharo also. Bisharo also. That where you saw him come in. Matani Rabbi Chia Bishalora also. So the Gemara is saying, even by nezek, the parameters, right, of liability, you're chayav, not even if you have a shus to be there. If you saw him, you're chayav. If you didn't see him, you're potter. So by goes. It doesn't matter if you see him or not. If you didn't have rishus to be there, you're a potter. If you had rishus to be there, your chayiv goes. But by nezek, it's not like that. By nezek, there's nothing to do with. There's no because of a yar. So therefore, if you see him and you know to be careful because you saw him, regardless of whether you have permission to be there or not, you're chayiv for any damages to him. If you didn't see him, then you're potter on damages. Okay. Now the continues and says, "Im b'shalot ro'u so." Came on Amalo he kones chayav. Is it if it even if he didn't see him? So does it stand to reason that if he told him come in, that he's chayav, right? And so why is it says here Tani? It should say v'hot Tani because the question. But Tani Rabbi Chia patur. Wait a minute, says Gemara. What about if the guy, the Baal Bayis, told the guy, you can come in, and then he damaged him with a block of wood? So it sounds like he should be chayiv, right? Isn't it the same like if he saw him? So why does Rabbi Chia say he's potter? Right? You see, it was changed before. It said Chanina. Now I see where it was compelling to change it because before it said Chanina, and here it says Chia. So in order to be the same Amora, it's either got to say Chia back there or Chanina here. So by the comment says Chia, so I changed it to Chia. Okay. So Kevin Kones Sarich Lishmor Esatzmo. No, says Gemara. That doesn't make him more chayav for nezek. The fact that he told the guy to come in. It means you have to watch yourself. You tell him come in, but that tells the nizak, okay, I can come in, but I still better be careful. In other words, the onus of safeguarding from nezek only shifts when the mazik actually sees him. Whereas as long as he hasn't seen him, even if he tells him to come in, he's not chayav for nezek. He's chayav for golus. The moment he tells the guy he can come in, he's chayav for golus. But for nezek, he's only chayav when he could have watched him, when he saw him and knew to be careful, more careful. It's a fascinating thing because it turns out there's more. There's very different parameters between nezek and misa and golus. Bista boy Maimer, those who want to say that. And this seems to be Rabbi Yossi Chanina holds that once he says he kones, you are chayav. If he says he kones, the same argument they had just before, whether raw or low raw, they'll have the same argument if he said to him he kones, whether he's chayav or potter. Rabbi Chia says he's potter because he still should, the nizak should have still been careful. Rabbi Yossi came only him. No, once he tells the guy to come in, it becomes like a chutzah which belongs to both of them. And a chutzah shutim, you can't say, "Well, I didn't see him." Why? Because since he's your shutaf, and he has the right to be there, you always have to be on the lookout. So therefore, we have here an additional machlokas. First machlokas was a machlokas. I shouldn't say. No, not additional machlokas. The first, initially we said Rabbi Yosef and Hillel and Rabbi Chia don't argue. One is talking about where you saw him, and the other is talking about where you didn't see him. Right? Fine. But now we're saying there is a machlokas. If you said he kones, if the Babai said come in, so then in that case Rabbi Chia says you're still potter. Why? Because come in just means come in and be careful. Rabbi Yosef Bechina holds, no. You say kones, you're giving the permission to be there. Just like he's your shutaf. It's just like your shutaf, so then you're chayav because you just like if you have a partner, you always have to make sure that he's not around. You should have made sure that the this person who came to collect his wages also was not in the line of fire. Okay, so this is again talking about nizakin, not about miso. Not about goals. Goals different parameters. This is talking about in terms of nezek. Okay, and now the Gemara brings down the source of saying chotzer hashutman is different.
What if one of you tells someone to come in, you tell them to watch out because you're chopping wood? Then you chayav? If you warn them while you tell them to come in.
And you're potter.
Good.
From Nezek or from Golos, actually, I should ask. You ask about for damages or for killing him? What's your question?
In either situation, if you warn them.
Yeah, you have to speak up. I can't hear you. Very soft.
In either case, are you chayiv if you
So by
warn them
Nezek,
after you tell them to come in?
okay. So by Nezek, so according, it's going to go machlokas, right? Right? You told him. Well, actually, no, because you told him chopping wood. So probably that's fair warning, and he has to be careful. I think that he's definitely going to be part of. Now that I think about it, it's definitely going to be part of from both, because it's how you just said come in, then that we can have a different opinion, like Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi China, and Rabbi Chia have here. Whether it's come in and make yourself at home or come in and be careful. But if he says, come in, I'm chopping wood, you're warning him, be careful, and therefore he has to take precautions. If you take precautions, then you're potter. Okay, so I think that probably that you would be part in that case. It's like, it's like putting up a sign, right? Don't beware of dog, right? So now if somebody comes in, if your dog bites him, you're potter. I think that's why people put up that sign. That's a good question. Okay, Rabbi Chia B'Shem Yochanan said, "Hashutim konim zem mizem chotzer." Shutim have equal rights in a chotzer, and therefore they can each use it to be konet something from each other. In other words, each one says, the concept of kinyan chotzer. You acquire something by having it put in your chotzer. So each one can use it to make a kinyan chotzer even from the other one, because each one has rights in the chotzer. Machim zelzeh b'chotzer, they can protest each other's usage of the chotzer if it encroaches on the other person. V'chayovin zeh b'nizkei zeh, and they're liable for damaging each other. Right? Liable for damaging each other. That's what that's what that's like the Easter boy Meimar came shoni kanes naskachot shutim, and he is liable. Okay. V'lo cherem harav b'malei kol reshus harabim. Now this is really not really directly relevant to. I mean, it's relevant, but it's kind of a roundabout question. There's a Gemara beginning on Meniyachim Baba Kama, right? And it talks about a person puts down pots, clay pots, of course, entire Rosh Hashanah. Well, I shouldn't say entire. Of course, part of Rosh Hashanah. And somebody comes during the daytime, right? And he can see. And he hits, and he bumps into a pot, breaks the pot, and gets hurt because of the sharp pot shards, which, I don't know, rip his pants, let's say. So the Gemara says the person put the pottery is putter, right? Because the guy could have gone around him. What happened is the Gemara says the only case in which the guy puts the pots is chayav is it is a mamale korishus harabim. The entire width of the street is full of pots, right? So the guy has no way to avoid them. So he has to go through them, and then if he happens to hit one and it breaks and it hurts him or damages him, the guy who put down the pots is chayiv. So that's b'mali kol reshus harabim. Where am I chayiv? If I'm a mali kol reshus harabim. If I fill the entire Rosh Hashanah with pots from side to side, and then somebody came and got damaged, I'm liable in his damages, right? Well, here, b'zu ein mamal kol Rosh Hashanah. Here, the guy could have gone around. He could have been careful. Could have hugged the walls. Why should I be chayiv in his nizakin? He had a place to go. He didn't have to come near me. I saw I was chopping wood. Or he could have been shouldn't have was chopping wood. He should have gone around. Should have gone and hugged the walls, gone the other direction. So it's not Memal, it's not like Memali Kol Reshus Harabim. Why should the Baal Bayis be chayiv? So this is the Gemara, I'll tell you why. Became a Shadarkon Lahalech B'chotzer. Since the guy coming to get his wages, he doesn't. He's going to go out the yard. He's going to take the shortest the most direct route to find you. Or maybe if there's an obstacle route, he's going to go a little bit around to get to you. once you allow him in the chutzner, he can walk anywhere in the chutzner. So it's as if when you're chopping wood, you're filling the entire chutzner with pottery, because he can go anywhere and you can hit him anywhere. So therefore, there's no real way around. Okay, so that's a saying that why is the mazik chayav? The nizak could have taken a different route, gone around, gone this way, that way. Just like if the shusar is not full of pots, the nizak could have gone around. Says Gemara, no, but since he can go anywhere in the chutzner to get to you, so therefore it's as if you're filling the entire area with pots, because anywhere he goes, you might hit him. So that's why you're chayav if you actually do hit him and damage him. Okay, it was a fascinating parallel between a very abstract connection between this case where you're shooting randomly blocks of wood all over the place and filling or robbing full of pottery. But it makes sense. Okay, there's a similarity in the principle. Okay, let's go on to Daf Vav Amarav. Of Golai de Beno. A father goes by hitting his son, presumably when he didn't hit him for the purpose of educating him, but he hit him for some other purpose. A ben Adeav and somebody hitting the father. Everybody goes if they hit a Jew. Yisrael goes them, and Yisrael goes if they hit them. Chutz mi Aidei Ger Toshav. If a Jew hits actually kills the Ger Toshav, doesn't go golus. The Ger Toshav Aidei Ger Toshav. But it's phrased a little bit strangely, but Ger Toshav does go into golus for hitting another Ger Toshav. So Yisrael hits another Ger Toshav, does not go into golus. A Ger Toshav hits another Ger Toshav, does go into golus. Hasuma, a blind person, ain't no gole. He doesn't go golus to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says yes, he does. Man says he does go golus. Hasone, somebody who kills somebody who they hate, doesn't go into golus. Rabbi Yehuda, Hasone nerag. How he does not go into golus? We put him to death. We assume that he did it deliberately. Depends. Some people, if they hate somebody else, they do go into golus. Some people, they don't go into golus. Anytime it's reasonable to say that the guy killed him intentionally, he doesn't go into golus. Even though we can't put him to death, we don't have 80 whatever, still he doesn't go into golus. If it's reasonable to assume that was done unintentionally, then he can still go into golus, even though he hates the other guy. Okay? So now the Gemara brings down a technicality here with somebody who kills his son. Rabbi Zira. As it said, Tana, I don't remember this in the Bible. I don't think so. Tana Rabbi Shila Barbuna. Said a brisa. Klapesh ne'amar, or he said over brisa. Klapesh ne'amar goel adam hu. It says goel adam hu. And the emphasis here is on the word who. The person who's the Goel Adam, right? The person who's the closest living relative of the person closest living relative of the victim goes and he is supposed to go and kill the murderer, right? So we have a problem here. Mishikas Beno, right? So somebody kills the son. So the next son should become the Goel Adam, right? If Yaakov kills Reuven, Yaakov kills the son Reuven, then Shimon should be the Goel Adam, right? So then it says, and then we have the word who tell us a mute, an exclusion. No, not in all cases can the Goel Adam be the next of kin. In this case, the son cannot be the next son cannot be the Goel Adam, right? That doesn't work. But actually cause a chiv. If a brother hit his brother, yeah, brothers can be a brother can be the Goel Adam against his brother, the murderer. So you have Reuven, Shimon, and Levi, who are brothers. Reuven killed Shimon, then Levi can become the Goel Adam. That's okay. Okay, so it's only one exclusion. Who? Right? It doesn't apply to brothers. It only applies to fathers and sons. Tani Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov. Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov says differently. Klapesh Nemar Goel Adam Yom Yisa Sarotzeach. Says the Goel Adam kills the murderer. Haremishikas Beno. Somebody hit his son. Beno Sheni Nasa Goel Adam. He does become the Goel Adam. Lamis Esaviv, to kill his father. The actually Kachiv, of a brother smote his own brother, Ein Achiv Ashni Nase Goel Adam. Then the second brother does not become a Goel Adam, so to Lahamis Esachiv, to kill his brothers. And it's very difficult to understand that. It's counterintuitive. And unfortunately, I have a great difficulty with this. Because if you have a mute that says one of the people shouldn't become a Goel Adam, it would seem to be that the closest, which is the second son, should not become a Goel Adam, but that the brother should be able to become a Goel Adam. And he's saying the exact opposite. That the brother can't become a Goel Adam, but the son can become a Goel Adam. So there are many Perushim which are said about this, and they're very dochuk. I'll just give you one of them, which is that he holds Beno Hasheni here, the Korban Eight, I should say, holds that Beno Hasheni means the grandson. Even though before, in the first case, Beno Hasheni means his next son. Here they say it means the grandson. So if that's the case, okay, could make sense. Beno Hasheni means second son, son of son. He can become a Goel Adam because he's closer than the brother, right? So the brother is close in, so the brother can become a Goel Adam, but the grandson can become a Goel Adam. But it's very difficult to say that because again, Ben Sheni before meant the second son, the next son in line, not the grandson, and we never see a grandson being called Ben Sheni. So the Korban is very unlikely. So the Shari Teres Yisrael, he does such things. He just says, you know what, take out this whole section. Says it makes no sense. Just learn Tani Rebbe Lezer ben Yaakov Minayin. The next line. Let's take out everything till now and just go to the next line. Okay. So Minayin Afilu Amar She'eni Yochol Lahak Bilo. This is Lahak Bilo means to come opposite somebody. Right? So it says in Torah, this is Shari Torah Sisot, which is a very beautiful shot. First into the Pnei Moshe, which is not as beautiful, and then we'll go to the Shari Torah Sisot. So he says here, Pnei Moshe says, it says in Torah, when the Goel Adam is pogea, he meets up with him, so he can kill the Rotzeach, right? Shomani dafka in pagabo miyad. Maybe it's only if you met up right away. It's immediately after the murder or after the psak based him, and he meets him and immediately kills him. How we know that even if he doesn't meet up with him immediately, the Goel Adam should pursue the murderer until he's able to kill him. It says when you meet up with him, who you mitzenu, who you Sarah, who here is superfluous. You just say pikabo you mitzenu. Meet up with him, kill him. What is the who? Who you Sarah? Elementish who you mitzenu mikomakom. Comes to tell us that he can kill him no matter what. In other words, even if it's not immediate, he can kill him later on. And it's a very difficult thing to say from emotion. So the Shaita so says has a beautiful shot here. He says, you know what it means? But Pigom lak below means, and according to the emotion, the word lak below it really doesn't seem to fit. Because what does lak below mean? It doesn't have any indication of being specifically immediately. So the Shaita still says bepigo bo means like below when you're facing him, when you face each other. In other words, can the Gol Adam stab the murderer in the back? Or does he have to come man to man, face off, face to face? So he says, how do you know if even if he can't come face to face and fight out man to man, so to speak, and kill him when he's aware he's being killed? I mean, how do you know that Gol Adam can even stab the murderer in the back? The words who yimisenu, again, are extra. Name says just the word who. But I think the words, the fact that it says who yimisenu means that mikomakom. Anyway, he can kill him. He can kill him even from behind. That's a very nice shot. So again, it's not just coming like below, like the Makabel Panav, which is face to face. Even if you stab him in the back, that's good. That is also a kiyum of the responsibility of Gol Adam, and he gets off the hook. He doesn't for having done it. He's not chayiv for having killed him because that's the role of Gol Adam. Okay, Vasuma, a blind man. Mantana Suma. Who's here who says that a suma is a potter, eno golet? It's Rabbi Yehuda. The potter mechol mitzvahs sumus b'Torah. Rabbi Yehuda says a suma, a blind person, is potter from all the mitzvahs in the Torah. The same time we learned over there, anybody who never saw the lights, meaning the sun and the moon, lo yifros es shema. He can't say the Birchos Kriya Shema. Really, he can't say it as a chazan. About the shemesh kochavim. He can't say. He can't be most other people because he never saw them. Right. So pares. But if he did see them, so then he can be the shliach tzibur for Yotzei Moros. So depends if he's so. The Gemara assumes that Rabbi Yehuda, who says that, holds that a blind person is potter, not just in this mitzvah. It's part of all mitzvahs in the Torah. And Rabbi Meir holds he's chayav, and therefore Rabbi Meir holds that the suma who killed goes into golus. Okay, so the Gemara says, "Ushnei mikra echad darshu." They both darshan the same pasuk. It says below ra'os. If you kill somebody without seeing, right? Meir Rabbos assume it comes to include a blind person. Blind person also kills without seeing, so he's chayav. Right? Meir Prat assume it comes to exclude a blind person because it means if somebody could have seen and he didn't see, then he goes to ghost. But if he could never have seen, just like you said over there, if somebody could never have seen the sun and the moon. I should add this. Rabbi Yehuda says if the guy became blind later in life, at some point in his life he did see the sun and moon, he can then be the chazan for Yotzei Moros. So if he never saw the sun and moon, he's blind his entire life. So here too, Rabbi Yehuda is saying below ros means that if he's I'm sorry, Rabbi Meir says Rabbi says a suma. He's saying that a blind person is chayav and golus. And Prat suma, it says no, it comes to exclude suma, right? Because the suma it has to be somebody. Rabbi Meir says below ros means he didn't see, and the blind person didn't see, right? A person who doesn't see and kills somebody goes to golus. The blind person didn't see, so it means let's talk about a blind person goes. That's Rabbi Meir. It says below ros means somebody who could have seen and then doesn't see. Just like you said, so he could have seen, could once saw, and then did see. He can't say because Krishma. He says when it says below means that it has to be somebody who could have seen now, not in the past, now at the time of the murder, and didn't see. Okay, so therefore he's saying that Prat Lusuma, somebody who's blind, doesn't go to ghost. Okay, now the Gemara is going to ask a question. Mechalfa shitase to Rabbi Meir, Tamar Amar Prat v'Ko Amar Ko Omer l'Rabos. So the Pnei Moshe changes this whole Gemara. He says, if we take a look here. Chayva shitase Rabbi Yehuda Garcina. So change the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda. Then it concludes the question. Tamar Amar Prat. Over there, it says Prat Masisim B'Mai L'Suma Sheina Gola. The part we call Mitzvah. Now the Yerushalmi Derech is very often it says Tamon, which in there means here, and when it says Hacha, it means there, which it means here there. Even though when we say Hacha and Tamon, we mean in Bavli here, Hacha, Tamon there. In the Yerushalmi, it often means Hacha there and Tamon here. And don't ask me why that is. I guess it's a different perspective. But that's so he says the Pnei Moshe says Tamar Omer Prat B'Masnis. In our mission says the Mai L'Suma Sheina Gola. The part of Mikol Mitzvah says the Suma doesn't go Golas because he's part of Mikol Mitzvahs. But there V'Ka Hacha Gabe Parei Shema by somebody who wants to do Yotzer Omer L'Rabos, right? It comes to be Marbe the Kamar Koshlar Mos Miyamavu Dana Paris. Somebody who never saw light. He can't say the Yotzer. Like, Rav and Istamei, Pares. But somebody who did see and got blind, he can be Pares. Vamai. Why? He's exempt from all mitzvahs. So he also is exempt from all mitzvahs. How can we motzi others of the Yotzer? So the Gemara is saying again, let's read it inside according to the way he changes the girsa. It says, Mechafa shitase to Rabbi Huda. Tamar Omer Rabos. Over there, he says Rabos. No, sorry, don't change. Tamar Omer Rabos, and here he says no, he doesn't change that. Tamar Prat, that may say Tamar Prat. By us he says Prat, that it excludes the Suma v'Kamar Rabos, and by the Yotzer Moros it includes the guy who's a Suma as long as he was once not a Suma. So there's another change here by the Shar Teretz Yisrael, which which I don't know if it's better, but might help. He goes along with Mechavish Tosi Rabbi Yehuda, but he says Tamru Amar Patur, right? That by us he says a Suma is Patur from going to Golus. The Ko Amar Chayav, but by Shema he said somebody who once saw the light is Chayav. Even though normally a blind man is part of all the mitzvahs. Here he's nevertheless, if he wants to lie, he's chayav. So why in one place does he come to exclude? Right, that a suma is potter. He says mechayev. Right, he says suma is chayav as long as he wanted to see the light. So Rabbi Chena Braid Rabbi Hillel b'Yoshev. You know what? We're going to run out of time. So let's start from Mechav Shitase next week in Mirz Hashem. So we'll start from there because it's less than a minute left. Have a good week, Rabbi Isai. Speak to you Sunday.